Have you ever wanted to quit your job and travel the world? Do you ever wonder why your life is centered around going to work? Or feel like life is too short to be sitting inside at a desk, staring out the window all day? That's exactly how I felt. I would have rather been scuba diving the Great Barrier Reef, or feeding elephants in Thailand, or doing anything else. I mean, who wouldn't? So I decided that I was going to travel. I didn't know where I was going to go, or what I was going to do. I sure didn't know how I was going to pay for it. And I ended up spending over 6 straight months in countries like Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, New Zealand, Australia. You get the point. Here's some of the steps I took to travel the world for over 6 straight months, including how I handled my finances, what I packed, what resources I used that I would recommend, and everything else in between. Hopefully by the end of this, you learned something from my journey that you can apply to yours. Let's not waste any time. You want to travel the world, but you don't know where to begin. Step 1 is to get your mind right. Ask yourself what you really want and why. Whether it's personal growth, a new perspective, or just because it sounds like fun, write out what you hope to gain from extended traveling and try to be as specific as possible. Some of the questions I considered were, what if something bad happens? What if my stuff gets stolen? What if I need medical attention? Those are all very valid concerns, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized that those things can happen anywhere. I don't let those fears hold me back at home. It didn't make sense to let those fears stop me from going abroad. Writing things out gave me the clarity that I would rather fall flat on my face than spend the rest of my life wondering what if. One of the most helpful resources that I came across while preparing for my trip was the book Vagabonding by Rolf Potts. There's a story in this book about a couple of monks who wanted nothing more than to travel. But since they made vows to the monastery, they weren't allowed to leave. Of course, most of us have never taken those vows, but we still choose to live life like those monks by rooting ourselves to a home or a career and using the future as some kind of a phony ritual to justify the present. Vagabonding is about gaining the courage to loosen your grip on the so-called certainties of the world. So my mind was made up and it was time to develop a plan. What was I going to do with my finances? What was I going to do with my stuff? What was I going to do once I landed there? Let's talk money. I know I don't have 100, sorry, but I do remember what my expenses were in Southeast Asia. I did excursions during the day. I would booze it up at night. I did not hold back. You know what I spent per month? Less than $1,200. Long-term traveling doesn't require a massive bundle of cash. It only requires that we walk through life in a more deliberate manner. I think where a lot of us get stuck is we make money the end goal, and then when we get there, we always want more. We never have enough. But once I defined what my money was going to, it really made it easy to put my head down and go to work. I knew how much I needed to make. I knew what I was going to go do with it. I wasn't going to have to wait until I was in my 60s, gray-haired, broken PP, all that. So with a big goal like traveling and my preparation, I did everything in my power to be debt-free. This included, and this one hurt me a little bit, trading in my Ford Raptor truck for a mom car. The reason I did this was to avoid paying over $1,000 a month for a machine that sits outside idle 95% of the day anyway. A lot of places in Southeast Asia don't take cards, so what I would do is withdraw whatever the local currency was from an ATM using my debit card. There were ATMs everywhere, every street corner, every airport. It's never hard to find an ATM. And don't go get money out at night by yourself. Just be smart, you'll be surprised at how far a little bit of common sense can take you. Every little bit helps when you aren't working. So on top of canceling my car insurance, I made sure to cancel all of my other monthly subscriptions, Xbox Live, Spotify, Amazon. All of them got the axe. I'll talk more at the end about how I saved money once there, as well as how to find cheap flights. But for now, let's get into our game plan. First off, don't worry about planning every single destination that you're going to go to. The less that you can plan out your destinations, the better. It gives you a lot more freedom to improvise. Here's some steps to help you focus your plan on being prepared to go anywhere. So in order to use your phone overseas, you need to make sure that you unlock it. And all that means is making it where your phone will accept SIM cards. Once you're abroad, there will be cheap SIM cards in every airport in town. And you need to get a new SIM card for each country that you go to, and that gives you a new phone number. I unlocked my phone online. It was super easy. It only cost about $50, and all you do is type in your phone number and wait. If you're interested in unlocking your phone, I'll put the link in the description. As an American, I had to apply for my Vietnam visa beforehand. I actually thought it would only take a couple days, and it ended up taking over a week. I got to the airport before my visa application was done. They wouldn't even let me board my plane. So please learn from my mistakes. Also, don't forget to pack some 2-inch by 2-inch passport photos. You can get them made at CVS or Walgreens for about $10, and you will need those even when you're doing your visa on arrival. I think you can pay a fee if you don't have them, but it's so much easier to get like 10 to 20. I think I brought like 25 of them. Put it in a Ziploc bag, stick it in your backpack, backpack, and anytime you want to go somewhere new, you got nothing to worry about. Now, speaking of packing, I'm not going to spend too much time covering this, but I did want to quickly talk about what I brought and what I recommend that you bring. So obviously you need a backpack. I had a 45-liter blue Tortuga, and it was great. Obviously very durable. 45 liters, actually the max size for a carry-on. So a lot of times when I flew, I didn't even have to pay to check a bag. I would just carry that with me. And some of the key items I brought inside of my big backpack were packing cubes. I also brought a padlock, travel adapter, sleeping mask, and noise-canceling headphones. As far as clothing, just remember you're going to be carrying your backpack around a lot, so it's important to keep it light. I saw people who way overpacked and they were miserable whenever they'd have to move places. You can always buy whatever you need while you're there. Congratulations. You made it. But you just landed, you've been traveling for 24 hours, jet lag, now what? When you first land, there's a lot to take in and it's easy to get overwhelmed. Don't put many expectations on yourself. It's good to just go get some sleep. So what did I do when I first landed? I got some money out, I bought a SIM card, and then I booked a Grab. Grab is the Uber of Southeast Asia. A lot of times it is more convenient to just take a cab. So what you can do is type in your destination on Grab and get the price estimate, and then use that as a baseline for your negotiations with the cab driver. Make sure that you negotiate the price beforehand, and Grab will definitely help you know that you're not getting ripped off. You may be asking, how do I know where to find the hostel? I would use Hostelworld. Hostelworld is the leading global platform for online hostel booking. I would pull up the app on my phone, type in where I wanted to go, and all of the hostels in whatever city I was in would appear with reviews, pictures, prices, availability, everything that I needed to know to plan where to go next. Something a lot of people ask me about solo traveling is how the heck I met people. Again, I can only speak from my experience, but if you talk to anyone that spent some time staying at hostels, I think they can attest to just how easy it is to meet people there. Before solo traveling, I would go out with my friends, but not talk to anyone new. But once I was abroad, I was forced to do that. I had no choice but to talk to new people. On my first night at the hostel, I ended up meeting 2 Canadian guys, and we ended up spending the next 7 weeks traveling up and down Thailand together. Jungles, beaches, parties, temples. We did it all. One night we were even walking home and one of the Canadian guys got hit by a car. In true Canadian fashion, he actually apologized for it. But that's not the point. The point is that I was able to meet some like-minded people, and I did it with ease. So if you're like me and you blow most of your money on hostel drinks and you need to save some money while you're there, a good way to get around is sleeper buses or just buses in general. Anytime I'm on a sleeper bus, I feel like I'm going to Hogwarts, so personally, I love them. When I did need to grab a flight in order to change countries, I would use Kiwi to find the best deals. Solo backpacking isn't for everyone. It takes preparation, sacrifice, and a special kind of optimistic weirdo to really go for it, but it's so worth it. I gained a unique perspective on things, and most importantly, I grew a ton as a person. Treat your life like a movie and ask what a really cool main character would do next, then go do that. And I wish you luck on whatever that is. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon.